Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
How would an Edmonton-Toronto series play out? How would the NHL feel about that? How would it go over in America? A Leafs-Oilers Stanley Cup final.
Well, I mean, ultimately, you pay homage to the teams that have earned the right. The Stanley Cup playoffs is unlike any sport, and I have buddies in every sport. But I would tell you this: ultimately, it's about the teams that earn the right to be there, and there's a lot of superstar power on both of those teams. We literally just finished covering Edmonton with ESPN. I was up in Edmonton for 2 games. My wife's in Alberta, so I'll just say that. So I had the chance to be up there, seeing the Oilers up close. They were a lot of fun to watch. You have 3 scorers over 100 points in the great Connor McDavid, the great Leon Draisaitl, and of course in Nugent Hopkins. And they had the best power play in the history of the league, and the power play sizzling again. And then in the case of the Leafs, you've got Austin Matthews, American-born superstar, I might add, Mitch Marner, Willie Nylander, Morgan Riley's been unreal. So if that's what the 2 teams that come out to make the Stanley Cup final, from a pure hockey perspective, our fans are in for a treat for sure, just because of all the superstars and the skill.
I couldn't agree more, and I love the answer. Let's put the best product out there and see where the chips fall.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Some leather-lunged New Yorker. He's cheering for the Panthers, but he's behind me, and he was making all these jokes. He's like, yeah, the Panthers are losing by a hair. I heard these Florida fans are rabid, but this is ridiculous. Anyways, and then security came down. Woo, right from everybody, because the rabbit's not hurting anybody. I was kind of hoping the rabbit would crap all over the kids.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to your favorite daytime sports talk show. We are on the air. We're live from Ace Casino Airport in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we're ready to talk sports for the next 2 hours. It's your favorite daytime sports talk show. How are you, my man? You ready? You like the jersey? Ooh, I got a lot of this. From the second I walked through the doors at Ace Casino Airport, the Darren Moose DuPont is with the co-host has made it, The owners are here. Kevin's here. It's a very big day, Moose. I was taking my life in my hands by bringing this Oilers jersey in. I know those that are listening on the radio right now, WQEE in Metro Atlanta, can't see it. Just trust me when I say I'm wearing a Vegas Golden Knights golf shirt, and I have an Edmonton Oilers jersey over my shoulder. And the first guy is like, do you realize that you're wearing a Golden Knights shirt and you're carrying an Oilers? I said, don't worry about it, okay? It's show business. And that's what we're doing here live from the Ace Sports Bar. What do you think, Moose? How do you like it so far? This is your first live show in the casino.
Yeah, pretty fun. Pretty good vibe. Pretty good atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, a lot of energy.
A lot of energy in here.
There's a lot of energy. It's Canada's #1 highest rated daytime sports talk show, by the way. And we're also Canada's only live daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network. And WQEE radio and streaming. And Moose, how are you over last night's loss, by the way? Because I was worried about you. You were pretty glum when I left you last night.
Yeah. I'm over it. I know we're going to get into that game a lot, but no, I'm doing much better this morning. Coffee's hot. Everything's good.
Okay. Well, we moved yesterday from Hotel Clay Calgary Airport to back over here to Ace Casino. So we had to set a lot of things up and all the rest. So I'm a little out of sorts, but I can tell you this. It's one of those days where all our live guests just couldn't make it. It's not that they necessarily... I think it's the sports talk god saying, we gave you Lanny yesterday. Just chill. That's what I think the sports talk gods are saying. And trust me, there are those. So we've got Sarina Taylor going to join us from South Florida. We're going to talk, because she's the Oilers fan of all Oilers fans, but she's also in the hockey capital of South Florida. How's that? So she's going to join us to talk about all that later on in hour 2. And producer Clark's working on some live guests here in hour 1, but via video call. But Theron Fleury was supposed to be here today, and he had to beg off and move it to tomorrow. So Theo will be here tomorrow, along with Jason Ribeiro, the president of the Calgary Surge CEBL basketball team. But without further ado, can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan, and we will get down. We will get down to business. We have a lot of things to get to here today. I'm going to start with the game that neither one of us cared about. Yanni Gourde scored at 12-17 of overtime, and the visiting Seattle Kraken defeated the Dallas Stars 5-4 in the opening game of their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series. Joe Pavelski scored 4 goals for the Stars after missing the final 5 games of round 1 in concussion protocol. Game 2 goes Thursday. And then the game that he and I were watching every shift of, the visiting Florida Panthers, bent but did not break. And they took game 1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. And game 1 of the second round, the Panthers blew an early 2-0 lead, but bounced back with goals from Carter Verhaeghe and Brandon Montour. Told you we call him Monty. To post a win, Matthew Tkachuk had 3 assists, and game 2 goes Thursday in Toronto. So I was on a high. Like, I did not go to South Florida expecting to fall in love with the Florida Panthers, but it happened. And I thought, you look like you just bit into a lemon. You look very sour. You said you were over it. Last night, we left the sports bar here last night, and he was very, you were very glum.
We lost.
I just wondered if it was because it's just a hockey game.
No, it is. You know, and it's funny. I'm not really upset about it at all, actually. I spent little to no time thinking about it last night because that was just a really good hockey game.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good hockey game. It didn't feel like the Florida-Boston series. It didn't feel like the Toronto-Tampa series where you were on the edge of your seat stressed because you really didn't know if you were going to win. And Toronto lost, but I still feel like the series is very winnable. Florida won. I think it's very winnable for them, too. Because it was just, we talked about how fast it was. Back and forth, up and down. There's chances at both ends. But Bobrovsky was great. Both teams had great chances. It was just a really fun hockey game. And I think one of those games when it's like that, you know there's lots of confidence to score goals and come back. So I think this is going to be a long series.
We take it for what it's worth. I know that it's just one game. And by the way, I'm the Pats fan who, when they were up 2-0 against Seattle, was telling everybody this series, or Saskatoon, I said, this series isn't over.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing in 7. So I don't hope you don't feel like I was gloating too much.
Not at all. It was a lot of fun last night here.
Oh, yeah.
There was some other Leaf fans in the sports bar that were having fun. So I know we're going to get into those stories.
Well, in the middle of the game, Sarina called me to talk about the game from Florida. And I said, can you believe I'm the only Panthers fan in the sports bar? She said, you're the only Panthers fan in Canada.
Yeah.
Which reminds me.
How about that?
Did anybody watch Sportsnet Central with Tim McAuliffe last night? You remember we were watching the game and there was those 2 Panthers fans that looked like that they were trolling the Leafs?
Yeah.
Did you see the story behind this? Those are Leafs season ticket holders that show up wearing the jerseys every game of the other team. Every game.
Anybody but Toronto.
It's hilarious. It's so good. So that's our analysis of the game. And people talk about Tkachuk and being a pest and so forth. It's brought up our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall for Key Auto Group. Mental thing. Key Auto Group has the largest selection of quality new and pre-owned vehicles in the Parkland area. Cars, trucks, SUVs, your journey begins at keyautogroup.ca. Our poll question today is, who's the number 1 pest at the moment in the NHL? And Darren said, of the teams still alive. That would have been a good suggestion, but you can't have a poll like that without mentioning Tom Wilson, I don't think. So our options are Brad Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk, who had 3 helpers last night, and Tom Wilson, or other. And running away with it is Matthew Tkachuk, by the way. And with full disclosure or remembering that the game has changed, there's not a Matthew Barnaby type in the NHL anymore. There's not a real Ken Lindsman type anymore. And these before you were even born, we called him the Rat. But you can still be a pest.
You can.
So who do you think is the biggest pest in the NHL right now?
I still think it's Brad Marchand. But Tkachuk's making ground. And the thing about today's NHL to be a pest, Nazem Kadri was one of those guys too, not that long ago. I don't know if he still plays that role consistently enough. But you get under the opposition's skin, but you still have to be able to produce, right, and score. And both of Tkachuk and Marchand do that. But I think Brad Marchand is a little more universally hated still by players and fans than Marchand is. But than Tkachuk is. But Tkachuk's on his way. For sure. And the longer he plays in this series and produces and gets under the opposition's skin, the more he'll be hated.
You know what? Alan May might be a guy to get on, Clark, later on in hour one if you want to shoot Maisie a text. If not, that's fine. Moose and I can handle it because what did we say? The sports talk universe was saying this is going to be a Rod and Moose show today, and that's it. But Alan has thoughts on the Tom Wilson thing.
Yeah.
Because he loves Tom Wilson. And Alan May is the television analyst for the Washington Capitals.
I was saying the gods were saying, you didn't drive all the way to Calgary to do 2 segments. We're going to give you some time in person
That's
here in Calgary, right?
And again, we gave you Lanny yesterday. What more do you want? Breaking news. RPShow listeners get 15% off Hotel Clique standard rates with the promo code RPShow. Book before May 6th and travel before December 21st. Cannot be combined with other offers or negotiated rates. Some restrictions apply. Call Hotel Clique for details. We're just getting rolling. Point 2. From the CFL draft, trust me, we were following it last night. We're big Canadian Football League fans. The Ottawa Redblacks selected offensive lineman Dante Bull first overall in the CFL draft Tuesday night. The Edmonton Elks selected number 2. They took Montreal Carabin linebacker Michael Broderick. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders then chose UBC defensive lineman Lake Corte Moore at number 3 overall. But I have to ask you about this. Riders still my team. I was with them for 20 years. Jackson Ford was their second-round pick, a defensive back from the Regina Rams. His grandfather, Alan Ford, is a very close friend of mine. Still holds the Grey Cup record for the longest punt in Grey Cup history.
Yeah.
He was the general manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. His grandson went to the Riders in the second round. I feel he's a first-round talent. I think that pick was just a win, PR, a steal, and a future franchise great. Unless I've read that wrong.
No.
You've called the games. So.
They finally got it right, taking a hometown kid.
Yes.
Right? It's a good pick. I thought, you know what, from a Rider perspective, they had a really good draft, especially up top. I thought, I really think Lake Corte Moore, the UBC Thunderbirds, is a worthy of the 3rd overall pick. Mm-hmm. I think he's a disruptor. He can play on the defensive line. He can move back and play linebacker and drop back into coverage if he needs to. He's a leader on that group. He has a lot of intangibles, and he's a winner and very fierce. So I'm a big Lake Corte Moore fan, but I'm also a huge Jackson Ford fan. When he's playing free safety with the Rams, not only is he a threat everywhere in the field, but he comes up with big plays and big moments. He had a game-saving interception as Calgary was making a comeback just recently. And he makes them in the big moments. 4th quarter, he shows up. And a leader on the defense, too, of that Rams team. So you got 2 really good players on the defensive side, 2 fierce players, but you got 2 leaders in those first 2 picks if you're the Riders. And then, the Canada West did well. Dayton Block from the Huskies going in the first round, the offensive lineman. Tons of experience on Scott Fleury's championship-winning team. And Anthony Bennett was, we saw what he did, just racking up the sacks. He's an energetic guy, really personable. Winnipeg has a great kid in Anthony Bennett.
There's our draft recap. And on that CFL vein, folks, Woody's RV World presents the summer football road trip hosted by the Rod Pedersen Show and Engelheim. Tickets are available now at rodpedersen.com. And the trip includes charter transportation from Engelheim on June 23rd from Regina to Calgary. Got the June 24th football game between Sask at Calgary, and then returning June 25th. In between, 2 nights accommodations here at Hotel Clique Calgary Airport. Exclusive pre- and post-game parties right here in the Ace Sports Bar, which we'll be hosting, or I will anyways. And as I mentioned, a game ticket. So get your tickets now, rodpedersen.com. There's a link right there. And we'll see you in Calgary for some exciting CFL football. Point 3, Connor Wong hit 2 home runs, including a tie-breaking solo shot in the 8th to help the Boston Red Sox rally past the visiting Toronto Blue Jays 7-6. On Tuesday night, the Jays have lost 3 in a row. Moving on to point 4, while a lot of you came here today, the Edmonton Oilers open their second-round NHL playoff series tonight in Las Vegas. The New Jersey Devils, fresh off Monday's Game 7 win over the New York Rangers, begin their second-round series tonight in Raleigh, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. So, how are we feeling about the Oilers and the Golden Knights? To be honest, this is a series that I can really get into. I watched the last meeting of the year between the 2 teams, or at least the one in Vegas, and the Oilers manhandled them. They skated circles around them, and I just wonder if that will continue into the playoffs. If there's one thing we've seen, Moose, these playoffs, like every playoffs, are a new season.
Yeah.
Right? What do you got, Clark? Yeah. Alan May will be joining. How about that? Alan, nice work, everybody. Because he was watching the show. Thanks, Maisie. Yeah. Thanks, Maisie. How about that? Washington Capitals TV analyst just randomly watching the show and texts us. Thanks, Alan. These are new playoffs, so does that mean the season series between the Oilers and Kings, or Oilers and Golden Knights doesn't mean anything, or what do you think?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. We've seen that in all these playoff series, that the regular season doesn't matter. But, you know, the Oilers are such a great team, but so is Vegas. Like, Winnipeg tried to push back. I know Rick Bowen has talked about the pushback and stuff, but when they came back from down 4-1, was that game 3, and forced it into overtime, Vegas stayed composed and won the game in overtime and did what they needed to do in the end. You know, they put away Winnipeg in that series in Game 5. They're a good hockey team, but we're concerned about Mark Stone, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
You know, gingerly walking off of the game day skate or the practice. Not sure if he's going to be at 100%. He's had the back problems and the surgeries. So that's a question mark. You know, can Laurent Brossoit handle Draisaitl, McDavid, and the high-flying Edmonton Oilers who score a lot of goals? This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But Oiler fans, they got another tough draw because you play here on a Wednesday night. Then you got to wait till Saturday for Game 2 because that game got moved in Vegas, Game 2. But then it'll get back to every other day. So enjoy the game tonight because you got a big layoff till Game 2.
You know, not like I haven't been around this my whole life. And I had this talk recently with a pro football coach, by the way, with regards to injuries, and can you use injuries as an excuse? And maybe this is something we can get into later. We don't really have time here now, but the Bruins could rightfully use injuries as an excuse for why they lost in round 1, I think, to the Florida Panthers, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs a different thing. I think in the regular season, you can't use injuries because that just exposes a lack of depth within your system, right? But come playoff time, if Mark Stone can't go, if so-and-so can't go, if Cale Makar is suspended, you know, not in your lineup, that's a major, major, major thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a huge problem.
So, yeah. So, I mean, and the reason I bring that up so much is betting. I do a little bit of it. He does a lot of it. Bet Regal is our exclusive betting partner. Now I get why it's such a big deal when you're filling out your fantasy football lineup. O, what's O stand for?
Out.
Out.
Yeah.
Q.
Questionable.
What are the other ones?
GTD, game time decision.
Yeah, like
P, probable.
Really important stuff.
Right.
Day-to-day, DTD, Clarkson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I don't the reason I bring that up is I don't normally pay a lot of attention to the injury reports in the regular season. I don't, but I don't gamble a lot. But come playoffs, if you're trying to make predictions, which incidentally is the only time I gamble on drafts.
Yeah.
I really pay attention to it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I would be searching these injury reports a lot for the Golden Knights, and why you also see why they keep it so close to their vest, too.
Well, and if Mark Stone is banged up, but like people think he might be, this extra day off going into Game 2, moving it from Friday to Saturday, that could help the Vegas Golden Knights in this series to try and, you know, maintain home ice advantage.
Huge factor. Folks, check out the couple's staycation package at Hotel Clayton Calgary Airport. Rates starting from $179 a night. It includes a $40 voucher for tonic, kitchen, and bar, plus a bottle of sparkling wine, Chef's Delight, plus a late checkout of 2 p.m. for those that are lazy. For a complete description of our theme suites, visit hotelcleek.ca. We'll be right back. Alan May is going to join us from the Washington Capitals, and Sarina Taylor to talk about her Oilers against the Golden Knights tonight.
I love a late checkout.
Yeah, who doesn't? We are live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Cleek Calgary Airport on Game Plus Television, WQEE, and the streams.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
Canadian Centre for Men and Families Alberta supports men through relationship turmoil and breakdown. Men face the realities of relationship breakdown in a way that is unique. These men need a safe place to belong and have meaningful conversations that help equip them to create a better future for themselves and their families. CCMF Alberta programs responsibly address the results of trauma on men's mental health. CCMF Alberta, because children need their fathers too.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult, because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
A's Casino Airport is the place to be. Happy hour every day from 2 to 5 p.m. 25% off appetizers and $5.25 domestic beer and highballs. A's Casino Airport, Calgary. Check it out. Before we jump back into the Quick Six show topics, and we do have Alan May coming up from NBC Sports Network, Washington Capitals TV analyst, and Sarina Taylor will be with us in hour two. Darren Moose DuPont is with us right here at Ace Casino Airport, and we'll be through to the end of our residency in Moose. Just speaking of that, just imagine half-price appetizers on an already very inexpensive menu. You were blown away when you saw the menu here at the entire airport.
Yeah.
Or casino airport.
Yeah, it's a great menu, too. The food is delicious. First sampling. Making my way through the menu, Rod, from lunch to the game last night. And what did you say? I out-ordered you last night.
He out-ordered me because I went with a salad. And he got the ribs. There's bone in.
Yeah.
They're amazing. And that everything's under $20. He didn't pick up the baton that I tossed to him, so I'll pick it up. Everything's under $20.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the owners, one of which is here. You saw them. Actually, they're both here. And they said, we're not going to make our money on our food, so let's do Vegas prices.
Yeah.
We're a casino with good food. So that's the deal. Come on out and join us. We'll be watching the Stanley Cup playoffs here most nights, but not tonight because we're going to a movie. That's a topic for another time. Point 5 of the Quick Six show topics. Anthony Davis had 30 points and 23 rebounds. LeBron James added 22, and the LA Lakers held off a late flurry by the Golden State Warriors to win Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinal, 117-112. In New York, Jalen Brunson scored 30 points as the New York Knickerbockers beat the Miami Heat 115-105, tying that series up 1-1. From the dub, the visiting Winnipeg Ice scored 3 unanswered goals in the first period and then coasted to a 5-1 win over the Saskatoon Blades Tuesday night to grab a commanding 3-0 lead in the Eastern Conference final as you're looking at it. And in the West, Olin Zellweger scored once and added 2 assists as the Kamloops Blazers beat the visiting Seattle Thunderbirds 4-1 to trim their deficit to 2-1 in the WHL's Western Conference Finals. So to be honest, I thought the Ice would roll, and that's happening. I thought the T-Birds would roll, and that's happening. But wait, wouldn't it be something if the Blazers came back to win this series as the host of the Member? Is that why you're wearing that jacket?
And they might. I figured you would talk Memorial Cup. I brought it out here.
I always do.
That time of year. Yeah, I mean, the Kamloops team's really good. So is Seattle. I mean, all the 4 teams that are left are really good hockey teams. Let's be honest. You don't get to the Final Four without being really good. But we're seeing the skill from Winnipeg, the high-end skill. And we're seeing what Kamloops is made of. Like, they're going to be a really good host at the Memorial Cup. So these series are far from over. And for Saskatoon, they've come down from 2-0 against Regina. They've come down from 3-0 against Red Deer. They have not played a team like Winnipeg.
Yep.
Winnipeg is not Red Deer. It's not Regina. It's a different team. So taller order here. But we'll see. It'll be fun to follow.
I'm smiling, not at you. I am appreciating everything you say. And I'd love to be at the Member, but you know what? The hockey lords, work in mysterious ways. And as my guy Ash was saying to me this morning, how wonderful this has worked out that you're coming back to Florida with the show and the Panthers are in round 2. And they're playing Toronto.
Yeah.
I said, I know, right? I guess that's why we didn't end up at the Centennial Cup and the Memorial Cup, because we had the Stanley Cup playoffs to go to.
Big time.
And I want to get to the Jeff O'Neill thing here, because everybody's talking about on the other networks how smart they are, and the 1-2-2 and the 3-1-1 and the forecheck and the back check and the paycheck. And I want to talk about other things.
Yeah.
But Stephen Jacobson's watching in North Dakota, and he says, greetings and hallucinations from sunny 12 degrees, Lansford, North Dakota. That must be, is that Celsius? He says, at the current rate of progression, the Leafs will win the Cup in 60 to 80 years. 1 round better after 20 years. Oh, he's saying.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
My guy, Pat Ansel, I call him Regina Pat Ansel. He's watching on Game Plus television in White Rock, BC. And he's got the greatest tattoo I've ever seen.
Really?
You've never heard me talk about this guy. He used to play golf for the Pats. He was a scout, and now he's out in White Rock, BC. He was a facilities manager last I knew, but he says, I love your show, Roddy. I'm going to be in New York City in August. Want to do a live update on location? You look great. Hope all is well, buddy. That's from Regina Pat Ansel. Do you want to know what the tattoo is?
Yeah.
It's a Regina Pat's logo.
Oh, okay.
Right over his heart. He pulled it down and showed me one time.
Yeah.
Beer might have been involved. We were at the Lancaster Tap House, and we were talking about how much we love the Pats. We were arguing over who loved the Pats more, and he goes, wait. I'm like, you beat me. You got me beat.
Would that be your tattoo if you got one?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I've flirted with the idea over the years, but I've never got one.
Yeah. A Pats logo would be it.
That would be the one, yeah. Certain people in the house have enough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that? 902-518-3033. Just checking in from the cesspool that is the comment section. John Ohm. I got my gong here on the road. John Ohm says Vegas Golden Knights forward Mark Stone leaves Tuesday practice in discomfort. But today's Wednesday, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Were you listening to segment 1, brah? Can we talk about this?
We did. He probably just checked in late.
I see.
He's a busy guy. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg, he says the Winnipeg Ice just keep on racking up those dubs. It's midnight for the Cinderella Blades, but I respect the fandom. I don't know if I want to pick on the Blades or not, but they're averaging less than 3,000 into January.
Had 10,000 in there in the playoffs last round.
That's what you call bandwagon jumpers.
But you know what? As an organization, don't you want bandwagon jumpers?
Yes, you do, but you'd rather have them all year, too.
Well, of course you would, but you don't.
John in Edmonton says, Rod, have you ever heard of a watch party where the fans watch an away game on the Jumbotron ever selling out? I haven't until the Oilers started doing it, and to be honest, how can you not? Yeah, John says he's just catching up. He's just catching up. John Ohm. John, I see these images in the video on the highlights of what they're doing at Rogers Place in Edmonton, and actually I was talking to Sarina about that, and I said, well, as awesome as it is, and I don't know, is it free? I assume it's free.
No, I don't think so.
Are they charging to get in there?
I think it's a charity thing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I don't care for crowds for the most part. Rogers Place isn't the easiest place to get in and out of parking-wise. Trust me, we've done it.
Yeah.
But for those that do, good for them. And the Oilers got to have the concessions open and making bank. I mean, as you talk about the bandwagon, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Teams don't have a problem with it. I guess my point is, with the junior teams, the NHL teams, the pro football teams, you and I are there from the dang intra-squad game.
That's right.
Through the preseason, through the regular season, to the playoffs. So it kind of annoys me when I see people jump on the bandwagon. That's all. And the teams don't care. Trust me, when I was with the Rough Riders and we were going to Grey Cups every year, and there were just waves and waves and waves of green everywhere across the country. We didn't have a problem with it. We weren't saying, where were you last year? I wasn't, but I'm saying that.
I know.
Yeah, but the teams don't.
It's like that with everything, right? You're into something, and it's your favorite thing, and somebody rolls in as the new expert in town. You're like, listen, you've been here for 2 minutes. I've been here my whole life, you know? Like,
yeah.
Don't come in here and tell me that you know more about this than I do, right? But you got to be okay with that. I mean, you were there at one point. We were all, like I say, figuratively speaking, we were all there at one point either as a day one fan, right, or a day two fan. We all had our first week on the job. So this is their first time.
And this isn't a Blades thing, by the way. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says these long playoff runs are what builds up fan bases for the long haul.
Yeah.
Well, it is. But again, sorry, people love this show because we do talk about the stuff that nobody else does. And the junior hockey with the Pats, when they went to the league final, I had my 4 season tickets all year for years. And the Safeway had their $13 tickets.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's a huge, hey, Rod, can we get tickets to the Game 3 of the league final? No, because where were you in October? No, you can't. So that's with my own team.
Yeah.
So the point is, in 2017, we go to the league final, host the Memorial Cup in 2018, and now this year, it was dead until the World Juniors made Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard?
That's right.
So, yeah, it's not just a Saskatoon thing. I
was
want
dead
the
all year.
barns full every game.
Yeah.
And from WQEE Rock, Ryan O'Radio, he says, great to see Top Gun in the same place with King Rod. Atlanta's NHL show, the RP show. There you go.
That's
you like
good.
that, eh?
I like that.
Talking about Jeff O'Neill, I don't know what's going on there. My phone's been going off because people know that the O-Dog and I are boys. And I won't say who's been asking me. I didn't even really know what was going on until you notified me. What we've zeroed in on and what they're saying is that Jeff O'Neill tore, not a Taurus. I didn't see the clip, but I guess he criticized Bell Media for being too cheap to send the Leafs broadcasters on the road in the playoffs, and he was immediately yanked off the air Saturday night at the end of Game 6 against Tampa Bay. That's the underground world, because there's a lot of people who thought that, what should I say, that it was away from the studio stuff or it was personal stuff. He said something that his bosses didn't like, and they yanked him off the air. That's the rumor. I have no idea, because I sent him a message. I posted a photo of me in a rehab treatment center in Florida this winter. You knew this story. And O-Dog wrote me. He's like, bro, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? Did you check yourself into rehab? No, I'm visiting a rehab facility. I'm a certified mental health and addiction recovery coach. He's like, oh, I didn't know. So I wrote him back just this week. I'm like, hey, bro, are you okay? And I haven't heard back from him. That's what I have heard this morning as of the O-Dog stuff. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph are now going to games 3 and 4 in Florida. They're hitting the road. So if he was critical, I mean, I don't like to see it, if that's what it was. But also, if it's just rumors, I kind of don't really want to comment if it's just rumors. But if it is, it's unfortunate, because he is one of the real talents in our business in this country. And he's the staple of Maple Leafs coverage in that city. So, of course, it's huge news. And Clark would know it. It's all over his timelines, I'm sure. It's all over mine, being a Leafs follower, that, you know, the playoffs aren't the same without him. And I'm sure the ratings are reflecting that.
Jen at the Four Seasons says, I'm sad that you're not at the Grey Eagle, though. I will be there tomorrow. My kid wants to meet you. He watches with me every day, especially through the summer. Well, I'll tell you what, if you come on up to Ace Casino tomorrow, Thursday, Jen, not only will you meet me, but you'll meet Theo, Fleury, and Jason Ribeiro, the Surge, and our entire gang. But I appreciate you for saying that. We'll get into this more next hour. I was reading the underground internet on this O'Neill thing, and people were saying, Leaf fans, how much they missed the O-Dog on the air because he's from Toronto and he's a Leaf guy. Jamie McLennan's not from here. It's not the same. I'm like, you are such a jerkwad for saying that. You know, who cares that Noodles isn't from Toronto? Pisses me off when I hear that.
He played for the team.
He did play for them, yeah, and that's, you know, but it takes a while. Coming into Calgary, there was a lot of, who's this guy coming into our backyard? But now, we're Calgarians.
Yeah.
Please excuse the Oiler jersey over my shoulder. But I've got the media coming in here saying, everybody's paying attention to everything you say, so watch it. That doesn't scare me. It doesn't make me change anything I'm going to say either. Moose, I'll see you in hour 2. We got a real hot one on the go today.
I'll see you then.
We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE, and streaming.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Capable of doing more speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
dark horse bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And we're live from Ace Casino Airport, Calgary, where they serve Ace Lager, the official beer of the Ace Casinos, crafted for your enjoyment, and $4.99 all day, every day. He's answered the bell. Alan Maisie, 393 NHL games with the Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers, Washington Capitals, Dallas Stars, and Calgary Flames. Alan, welcome back to the RP Show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Great to be with you, Rod.
Always great. Always great. Hey, Maisie, we'll talk about the beers that you promote in a moment because I know you're a big beer guy. Before we look ahead to some of these series, I was 4 for 8 in round 1 predictions. How were you? How were you with prediction?
I did not keep track of it, but I was wrong in quite a few cases. And, you know, just sticking, I thought Boston would win, even though I was reluctant to go against that. I didn't want to have egg on my face. And, you know, the Florida Panthers, they were just so hot at the end of the year. And then I thought the Rangers would have gotten the best of the Devils with them not being playoff prime. But the way I saw those teams play this year, I should not be surprised. New Jersey was the fastest team I can remember since those Oilers teams back in the 90s, or the 80s, I should say. The Dallas series I got, it was so all over the place. Colorado, I thought would eke it out, but they just didn't. They had too many players gone. It just made too much of a difference. I picked the Oilers, and I don't know how much of that is hometown and me wanting to cheer for Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and all that, but I'm not betting against them at all. So as you go around it, I was hit or miss. I guess I was probably 50-50 as well.
But it's been fantastic hockey, and so let's look ahead. We'll come back on Leafs Panthers, but all the Oiler fans are writing in. They want our thoughts on Game 1 tonight. And let's start here. Sean Ayotte, why not? He's written in on the 902 line. He's in St. Albert. He says, who do you guys give the edge in goal in the Vegas-Edmonton series? Neither guy has much experience. As an Oilers fan, I'm a little concerned with Skinner's play versus the Kings. Signed, Sean in St. Albert. What do you say, Maisie?
I'm going to just say it's 50-50 right now. So both of those goaltenders need to have confidence in Game 1. That's the biggest thing. It's going to be how well the defense play in front of them so the goalies aren't put in too many situations where they have to make super big saves. The biggest thing with both of these guys is that they have to make sure that they stop everything that they're supposed to. Leave the puck alone. Don't worry about playing it. Just worry about stopping it. And it's going to be up to the teams in front of them. How well are they playing their defensive systems? Who's protecting their goaltender better? And really, both are unknown, so I don't think there's an edge either way.
Isn't it amazing? Laurent Brossoit and Stuart Skinner, both Edmonton kids, both have league final credentials from the WHL, and I think big games are big games, Al. What do you think about that? Junior, minors, and NHL, I think it's just to scale. They've been in the big games, or do you think the Stanley Cup playoffs could overwhelm them?
This is overwhelming because it's all over everywhere. Your social media accounts, your internet, your televisions, your newspapers. It's on such a large scale. And this, you're actually getting paid for this now. This is what you do for a living. And there's so much egg on the face. People want to throw blame all the time. So there's so much more at stake here. You add so much more time to your career by being an effective and great player in the playoffs. You're someone that can be counted on. There's players that have lasted 5 and 6 years longer than they should have because they know that they'll do whatever it is to block a shot, to kill a penalty, play defensive when you're an offensive guy, to sacrifice. So it's huge. There's so much more pressure right now. And I think that's one of the reasons that a Canadian team has not won so long. And since the start of the internet, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'll continue to say it, until a Canadian team wins the Stanley Cup, there's a lot of pressure up there. Everywhere you look, everyone's got an opinion. Down here in the States, you can walk around. No one knows who you are in most of the cities. You could be Ovechkin. You could be, doesn't matter. You could be Connor McDavid. Not a damn person would know who you are. You could walk from the arena, hotel to arena, and you're not getting harassed for the most part. So there's so much more pressure back home. It never goes away. So that's one of the things. There's a lot more pressure, especially at the NHL level, but I think even more so in Canada.
It's a really good point. I know that you're watching all of the games because you're analyzing them now for NBC Sports Network. and various other channels, your guy Jeff Pedersen telling me that. But I want your thoughts on this. Alexander Barkov, almost invisible so far, the Florida Panthers. And Jack Eichel in Vegas hasn't done a whole lot either. Do you think that'll continue or they'll snap out of it?
Well, I still look at Alexander Barkov as one of the best defensive players in the league. And his team got out of the first round. And there's a lot of centers on the Boston Bruins that did not put up numbers. You know, Krejci wasn't there enough, Bergeron wasn't there enough, but Troy LeCoyle stood in for those guys. He ended up with 1 goal, maybe 1 point the entire playoffs. So I've saw this in the past with great teams. You have other players picking up the slack. Not everyone can score every game. And Alexander Barkov isn't putting numbers on the board right now, but he's still one of the best defensive players in the game. His team is winning. They're being propelled by Matthew Tkachuk. So I look at that. Jack Eichel, on the other hand, he's not the best defensive player in the game. He's not the top 5 defensive player in the game. So he's someone that's depended on way more for offense to bring it. And so I think right now, Barkov, I don't think anyone on the Panthers is upset with him. They're in no way are they down. This team has so many great players on it, players that are stepping up and doing the different things that need to be done to get the wins. All that matters is you're on the team that wins 4 games in a series. Alexander Barkov did that in one of the greatest upsets of all time in the National Hockey League by taking out the Boston Bruins, who had the most wins ever, the most points ever, you name it, and they neutralized them. You know what? Alexander Barkov, in my opinion, sacrificed offense to neutralize and shut the other team down.
We got 90 seconds, Alan. Our Key Auto Group daily poll question is, who's the best and biggest pest in the NHL right now? Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson, Matthew Tkachuk, or other? Running away with it is Chucky. You want to take a swing at that?
Absolutely, Matthew Tkachuk, because he brings every element of the game. He's newer, he's fresher, he hasn't been hit with all the suspensions that slowed Marshy down a little bit. Tom Wilson, missed a year with injury, but Matthew Tkachuk brings his team into the fight. There's so many times in a game that he pisses you off with the little things that he does. And that's just watching the game as an analyst. I can only imagine as a fan and the opposition. He does a lot of little things. There's little elbows, there's little pushes and shoves, little stick taps. He gets under your skin, and then he backs it up with solid, incredible play. His celebrations are over the top, and he's so hateable that it makes him lovable right now to me, because what he did in that first round, the way he brought his team into the fight, the way he did it last night, sending messages. Matthew Tkachuk is the new leader of the all-time pests and rats right now, but he's such a great player.
I used to hate him, love him now, and as you say, he's in the right place with the Rats in South Florida. Maze, how's the summer? We got 30 seconds. How's the summer looking for you? What's up?
Well, you know what? I've been working for CBS Sports, recapping the games, doing predictions, and it's wearing me down already because I'm trying to get in shape for the summer, for the lake, for the beach, or the ocean, whatever you have. And late nights, workouts, I'm like you, I'm religious with the workouts, but I'm also religious with watching my hockey. So I'm having a blast. I'm not as uptight and as tense and as emotional as I would be covering my own team, but we need a break, we need a rest, we need to reset, retool, and rebuild. And I'm having a lot of fun watching all these games. And I did predict that Toronto would finally win the first round. I just thought Tampa was too beat up. So I wasn't shocked when they won the other night, and it was just based on the way they played the Caps this year. A lot different, tougher, grittier up front, and that's where they've been soft in the past and where they've lost their series, in my opinion.
Well, this has been fantastic, Alan. Thanks for pinch hitting today. Enjoy the hockey, and let's do it again.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Washington Capitals TV analyst, and I might add, 393-game NHL vet and former Estevan Bruin, Alan May. We'll be back with Audience Takeover right after this. We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Cleat Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, and streaming.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RPShow gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Canadian Centre for Men and Families Alberta supports men through relationship turmoil and breakdown. Men face the realities of relationship breakdown in a way that is unique. These men need a safe place to belong and have meaningful conversations that help equip them to create a better future for themselves and their families. CCMF Alberta programs responsibly address the results of trauma on men's mental health. CCMF Alberta, because children need their fathers too.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. That's us at Hotel Cleat Calgary Airport. Check out their all-inclusive wedding packages. Fly and gather in one location. Enjoy your moment and cancel the stress with our convenient location for family and friends. We're right beside the airport. Got this great casino next door. All-inclusive packages start at just $79.95 per person. Contact Hotel Cleat for Calgary Airport for details. As mentioned, a sports update here in Audience Takeover, and we'll get to your questions and comments in a moment. The Toronto Blue Jays look to halt a 3-game losing streak when they face the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park today. Sox won the first 2 games of the 4-game set by scores of 7-6 and 6-5. Alek Manoah starts for the Blue Jays against Boston's Nick Pivetta, the pride of Victoria, BC. The Canadian men's and women's soccer teams are urging change in Canada's soccer's leadership at the governing body's annual meeting this week in St. John, New Brunswick. The national teams and the National Sports Organization are embroiled in an ongoing labor dispute. In a letter to presidents of the provincial federations, the players say they are, quote, deeply concerned about the ability of Canada soccer to guide the organization into the future, unquote. Philadelphia center and league scoring champion Joel Embiid earned his first MVP trophy, topping 2-time winner Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. Embiid averaged over 33 points and 10 rebounds and tied a career high of 4.2 assists per game. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard this is the first year that LeBron hadn't been named a finalist in like over a decade. Isn't that something?
How about that?
Sports update is for Landmark Cinemas. Enter to win a movie night out at Landmark Cinemas. For movie lovers only, all you have to do is text MOVIES to 902-518-3033 to be entered. Winners are picked every Friday to enjoy a movie night out this weekend. And playing in theaters now, the Super Mario Brothers movie. While working underground to fix a water main, Brooklyn plumbers Mario and brother Luigi are transported down a mysterious pipe and wander into a magical new world. Starring Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, the Super Mario Brothers movie is in theaters now. We're going to a flick tonight, and it's going to, I think, be an arm wrestle to figure out what exactly we're going to, because I really want to see Renfield, and he really doesn't. So we'll find something. Landmark Cinemas, probably going to hit up the Country Hills location. To the audience questions and so forth, and Moose is coming back in hour 2. For those that are watching on streaming, we'll get to your questions then, but this is the text line here on Atlanta's NHL show on WQEE. Sean Ayotte wrote in earlier from St. Albert wanting to know who we thought we'd give the gold to in this Vegas-Edmonton series. I need to think about it more than being on the spot, but I liked Alan May's answer that it's a wash. I would say don't be afraid of Stuart Skinner. They've shown the confidence in him. They've groomed him to be the guy. I think he's the next Oilers goalie of the future. Whereas in Vegas, that's a rotating carousel of, I think, Laurent. And that's the way Vegas runs things. You screw up, you're gone. Ask the Flower. Laurent Brossoit might not even finish this series. Could be Aiden Hill. Could be Jonathan Quick. But Stuart Skinner's the Oilers guy. And for that reason, I would give the Oilers the edge in goal. And by the way, they came back with Jack Campbell, in those they came back with Stuart Skinner in those clinching games for the Oilers. So give it to the Oil. Regarding the Oilers watch parties at Rogers Place, Jeff in Edmonton writes in and says they charge $5 flat for tickets to the watch parties. I've gone to all of them. Great time. Last minute of play in hour 1. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I wouldn't go because I don't really like crowds to begin with, parking and all that, but I don't look down on anybody for going. It looks awesome in there. Lyle's watching on Game Plus TV in Toronto, and he says, I don't know if midnight will strike for Seattle's fairy tale. Every time we think they're beaten, they just outpace the opponent. We need to talk about that next hour with the Moose, and he'll rejoin me because I was one of many, including my friends in the Seattle media, that were making the Kraken's expansion draft plans going in and then what they did afterwards. And now look at this. They're setting all kinds of records for a second-year expansion team. It's wild, and I love it. Sarina Taylor coming up in hour 2 and more with the Moose after this brief pause on Game Plus, WQEE, and the streams. Hi, Brenda.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Selection, service, price, parts, and knowledge. That's the Woody's RV World difference. With 7 locations in Western Canada, there's always one nearby. Visit us today or at woodysrv.com. If adventure awaits, Woody's RV World is with you all the way.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Canadian Centre for Men and Families Alberta supports men through relationship turmoil and breakdown. Men face the realities of relationship breakdown in a way that is unique. These men need a safe place to belong and have meaningful conversations that help equip them to create a better future for themselves and their families. CCMF Alberta programs responsibly address the results of trauma on men's mental health. CCMF Alberta, because children need their fathers too.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Some leather-lunged New Yorker. He's cheering for the Panthers, but he's behind me, and he was making all these jokes. He's like, yeah, the Panthers are losing by a hair. You know, I heard these Florida fans are rabid, but this is ridiculous. Anyways, and then security came down. Woo, right from everybody, because the rabbit's not hurting anybody. I was kind of hoping the rabbit would crap all over the kids.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Howdy do. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show Hour 2. Notice something different? Yes, we are still at Ace Casino Airport, Calgary, but I do have an Oilers jersey over my shoulder and a Golden Knights golf shirt on my bod because it's game day, and we're having a lot of fun. We have a live studio audience. Russ is here from RV World, brand new sponsor to the RP Show. We're going to be talking about the RP Show summer road trip. That's the first ever Darren Moose Dupont, is it? And then we got the Moose with us here from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. He's come and joined us here at Ace. Have we done a road trip?
We have not.
You and I have,
well, you've not
but
done
not
plenty.
with viewers and listeners.
No, we're bringing them along with us.
Yeah, so that's very exciting.
It's going to be really cool, like really cool. And we're going to bring in some CFL alumni that will come and hang out and be a part of this. Like I honestly think it's going to be fun going to the game, but like being on the bus with other Rider fans and maybe some former players from Regina to Calgary, like that'll be the best part is the road trip. And then you get into the hotel and casino here and hang out with us.
We'll be throwing parties. You'll be invited.
Yeah.
You can get your tickets now at rodpedersen.com. It's presented by Woody's RV World and Engelheim and charter transportation from Engelheim from Calgary, well, Regina to Calgary and back, June 23rd to the 25th. 2 nights hotels here at Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. Complimentary breakfast, pre- and post-game parties at the Ace Casino Sports Bar hosted by Moose and I, and then a game ticket, Sask at Calgary that week. Well, the game is June 24th, but it's the whole weekend we're taking it over. And it's, as I said to you yesterday, I'll say it today, it's great to have you here, Moose. And it's fun talking sports. It brings everybody together. I've been in sports my whole life, so I don't know what it would be like to be outside of sports. I don't know. Right. I don't want to know.
I know.
But at the last casino we were at, where we have a very great relationship, Grey Eagle, if I had trucked in an Oilers jersey, as a matter of fact, we did. They had no problem with it. There's probably more Oiler fans there than Flames fans there. Here, not going over well with a lot of the staff at Ace Casino Airport that I have an Oilers jersey because we are in Calgary over my shoulder or a Golden Knights. But you know what I say to that? Make the playoffs. Right?
It doesn't
Amanda
matter.
agrees. She's right behind the bar. She knows.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the Flames are in the playoffs or not. They still hate the Oilers, no matter what.
That's a good point, but it's like you were in the playoffs last year, and we put a Flames jersey up.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just saying there's not a lot of Oilers fans in this particular facility. I'm sorry, I don't think they'll mind me saying.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, the owners, who you've now met.
Yes.
Big Flames fans, did they tell you?
No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I imagine they would be.
Yeah, so they're quite
Born and
excited.
raised.
Darren Fleury was supposed to be here today. He had to move it to tomorrow. So Theo's going to be here tomorrow. But the owners of the casino, they don't care. Huge Flames fans. They said, we'll be here tomorrow. So we can't wait to see Theo.
Yeah.
And then Jason Roberto, the president of the Calgary Surge, is going to be with us on Thursday as well. And today it's really just Moose and I talking about Stanley Cup playoffs. And normally, for those that have just joined us, if you're new to the show on Game Plus Television, where we're the #1 rated talk show on the Game Plus Television network, that's not a small thing.
No, it is not.
And we're on the radio on WQEE. We are Atlanta's NHL show. And, of course, we're streaming YouTube and podcast form. If you're new to the show, in hour 1, we talk about last night's games. In hour 2, we look ahead to tonight's games. But I would be remiss if I didn't just spend a little time, just a minute, on the Florida Panthers doubling up the Maple Leafs 4-2 in Game 1. He and I watched it together. It was a lot of fun. I thought we got along a lot better than I would have thought that we would have got along.
Yeah, we did not come to blows.
No.
We were even sharing food.
But it was Game 1. I feel like later in the series that might not be the case.
Yeah.
We'll see. Mind you, I'll be in Florida by then, so it won't matter.
I know, but it's a reflection of what we were talking about during the game. I said, look, this isn't a hard game, if that makes sense. Like, there were some big hits. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Shen laid out Tkachuk. There was hits the other way from Florida on Toronto. But there was no nastiness. Like, there was no stuff after the whistles. There was no hate, right? It was almost a reflection of you and I watching the game.
Yes.
But wait till you get to Game 4, 5, 6, and the hate builds. We might not be able to be on the air together. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But it was a fun game. It was a fun game. Bob was great. And the one thing I still can't get, and if you've seen it, the photos going around social media now, when Nylander had the puck and the defenseman fell down and he had a wide open path to the net, they freeze framed it and they said, can you still believe that he never went to the net in this play? He peeled back to the blue line.
You and I were watching it. Well, I said to you at the time, Willie thinks this is a skills competition tonight.
He's not on at all.
Hey, Willie, wiki.
You know,
it's playoffs, but it's a different season, Willie.
He needs to get going for Toronto. He's not dialed in. Matthews and Marner are, and Tavares, but it's the same with Florida. Tkachuk, right? He's dialed in. Barkov is not. So where is Barkov?
Great comment last hour from Alan May regarding the Super Pest question today for Key Auto Group, our exclusive poll sponsor and exclusive automotive dealer, Key Auto Group. They have the largest selection of quality new and pre-owned vehicles in the Parkland area. Cars, trucks, SUVs. Your journey begins at keyautogroup.ca. Who's the biggest or best pest in the NHL right now? Brad Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk, Tom Wilson, or other? And Alan May of the Capitals broadcast crew is way runaway Matthew Tkachuk. He's in everybody's heads. He's controlling the games. Don't think for a second that didn't play into the firing of Daryl Sutter here. I don't have inside information, but the word amongst hockey people is you don't want to be in Calgary, but then you want to go over here to Florida. And I saw some analysts say he's the MVP of the league next to Connor McDavid. That might be a little, you would agree with it? He was the MVP of the All-Star game, I will say that.
He could be in the conversation. You know, 100-plus point guy. Just continues to be a leader on that team. He's getting it done when the games matter the most here in the playoffs. He's in on every Panther goal. If he's not racking up a goal or an assist, he's in front of the net providing the screen. He is very dynamic. He's personable. He's got personality. He's embraced Florida. They've embraced him.
Yeah.
It's a huge loss for Calgary that I don't know if you'll ever be able to replace him.
We will look ahead in a second, but for the benefit of those every day, my business friends, they're like, when you go to Florida next week, you got to do this, and you got to do that, you got to do this. And I'm like, can you just chill? I'll handle it. I'm lining up guests here and getting this all worried about. Next week's shows from Florida will be amazing. And last word on that before we move on to Vegas and Edmonton tonight. And thank you, Jason and Red Deer. He's got some good comments here. He says, I wouldn't consider Tom Wilson a pest. He's just dirty. Marchand is just odd, licking people's faces and all. Tkachuk is the real pest. I thought for a good 3 minutes as to who the pest would be. I said to Darren, Bunting.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. These were the best. These were the best three that we could come up with. But on that meme, whatever you want to call it, that's going around from Seinfeld, and just remember, I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. You're not the biggest. I don't know how you couldn't be, but Sarina isn't. My dad wasn't. My dad's like, I don't understand why you find this funny.
Yeah.
On Seinfeld. So I get it. It's not for everybody. But Morty Seinfeld, Seinfeld's dad, have you seen it? This is Frank Costanza. You think you're going to keep us out of Florida? I've watched it 300 times.
We're going to be in the pools. We're going to be in the clubhouse.
We'll be on the shuffleboard courts. You can't keep us out.
Yeah, just try and stop us. So good.
Yeah, what do you want? This is Frank Costanza. He's my favorite actor of all time. It's not just that scene.
Yeah.
You want a piece of me?
Was he in Kings of Queens, too? King
yeah,
of Queens?
but there's only one Frank Costanza.
Yeah.
That story's kind of losing some steam, though. The Panthers not letting Leaf fans into the arena.
Well, Frank told you. They're going to get there no matter what. They're going to be in the pools. They're going to be in the
You're trying to keep us out of Florida?
Like, the story is dead because Costanza's right. He actually, when they put the Leaf logo on him, he speaks for Leaf fans. You're like, you think you're going to keep us out? Like, we're going to find tickets. We're going to be in the stands. We're going to be wearing the jerseys.
And by the way, okay, well, we are on the television in Toronto. Game Plus is anchored out of there, so I don't mind talking about the Leafs. Their fans are incredibly annoying. Obviously, we're just talking about that. But I feel sorry for their players because, as I said to Darren last night, watching the game here at a sports bar where we will be hosting pre- and post-game parties for the Sask-Calgary road trip with Woody's RV World and Engelheim. I said, I feel sorry for the players of the Leafs because they're just like the Rough Riders back in the day. Everybody wants to come into their stadium and kick their ass because they're annoyed by them. It's not the players' fault. Everybody wants to beat the Leafs' ass, the Riders' ass, probably the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, again, the players' fault.
Of course not. But you're in that market, and you play for the team, so it's part of what goes with the territory. You want to play in the market with that type of fan base and in that, pressure and that history, whatever. Same thing in Saskatchewan. If you want to go and play in Saskatchewan and have passionate fans, and, this is part of what comes with the territory.
Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, I wonder if Rod observes Festivus on December 23rd. No, we do not. Ryan also points out it's 11:11 Mountain, 1:11 Eastern. Got it, guys? Trust me, we're visualizing a positive outcome.
Yes.
And we're getting it. Again, Lanny McDonald showed up yesterday. Not as you were there in the lobby. I said, Lanny, I prayed twice that you would get here today. And he's like, what are you praying for? If I said I'd be there, I'd be there.
Yeah.
And then today, our guests moved or dropped out or whatever. And it was just the sports talk gods just going, Rod, chill. It's going to be you and Moose. Just relax. And it's worked out great.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Anyways, Leafs fans, stop calling me. You're annoying. To the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Golden Knights fans aren't annoying. They've only been around for 5 minutes. And I don't mind Oiler fans at all. I love Oiler fans, as a matter of fact. What's annoying about them is when they lose, they'll never look in the mirror. They blame the refs all the time.
That's the problem. We went through this.
I know.
What's every fan base's annoying trait? And the Oiler fan base is it's always the refs. Always not calling the penalties. That's the thing, right? That's the one thing that they do. And Golden Knights fans, I think the general consensus is that they feel like their team is the Oilers or the Montreal Canadiens, or Toronto, Chicago team has been around forever, right? And they're just, it's the people, like you said, the Golden Knights fans are the people who jump on the bandwagon, show up in the playoffs, and want the tickets and act like they've been there all year long when they haven't, right? That's Golden Knights fans. Now, they've been spoiled. They've had a ton of success. And
they don't know any different.
They don't know any better. And what do you want? You want them to sit home and be like, quietly start being a fan and earn it? No, go in there and be crazy and be a fan and pound your chest and wear your gear.
They don't know what they don't know.
But they don't know what they don't know.
Right?
And they came to the party and want to be right at the front of the line.
They were born on third base and thought they hit a triple.
Yes. That's right. Yes. That's Golden Knights.
That's not their fault. I like this. We're on to something. That's why Hour 2 is always so fun. We bring in far more of the viewer audience comments. BW in Edmonton, he says, my first watch party I went to was at Rexall Place. Took my nephews and 5-year-old daughter in 2006.
Awesome.
It's still the same price, $5. The Oilers converted an old Zamboni, putting benches in the tank. The kids loved it. Yeah, I think I love the watch party. I wouldn't go to that. I might go to others. I probably would go to a Panthers watch party on the road. We'll see. Jason in Red Deer says, if the Stampeders only get one win all season, I sincerely hope it's Mosaic Stadium against the Riders. I'd call that a successful season. Did you mean McMahon Stadium or McMosaic Stadium? From John. I got to get that hammer, Moose.
It's something.
He says, quotes Jerry Seinfeld, you know, the very fact that you oppose this makes me think I'm on to something. Do you understand the comedic genius that is Jerry Seinfeld? Do you people understand that?
Yeah.
When they went and pitched the show to the network executives at NBC, it's a show about nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I can do that with a sports show. It's about nothing. And it's worked.
Yeah.
Seinfeld was on it way ahead of time. It's what I did with my old radio show. I brought on the ex-Rough Riders, and the people loved it, and we're infecting people's minds here in Alberta. Yeah. We've got 4.4 million fresh victims in this province that didn't even know what hit them until I showed up. And we got these ex-NHLers showing up on the show.
Yeah.
And people love it because nobody else is doing it. It's a show about nothing. Wayne in Victoria, BC says it's always a great RP show, even if it's just Rod and Moose. Just you and me.
That's when it's the best.
It's a show about
just
nothing.
You and me.
Seinfeld seemed to do okay. It's a show about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to break. I think it was Wayne that said it. Yeah, it must be tough to be a Flames fan with Tkachuk playing so well in Florida. That's the point. I've heard the hockey people say this. It makes Daryl Sutter look really bad. That these guys want it out, and they've gone and done great other things elsewhere. TJ Brody, Mark Giordano, who they did expose in the expansion draft.
That's right.
Different situation. But Tkachuk is a really glaring example of what might be wrong here, and also, or what was wrong here, because they ended up firing Daryl. Interesting, too, Jonathan Huberdeau ripped Daryl Sutter in a French interview yesterday, like he thought people weren't going to translate it.
I'll say this in French. Nobody will hear it in Calgary.
Patrick Laine ripped the Jets in Finnish.
And we heard that. Yeah,
and we found out about it.
Google Translate, brah. Works pretty good.
Troy in Tirana says, I have your number, Rob, but I won't call you, though, I promise. By the way, I'm proud to be an annoying Leaf fan. I find Montreal fans the most annoying. Yes, but for different reasons. And Nelson, and when I say stop calling, I'm saying stop. You can call me, but don't ask me for tickets. And Nelson says the Vegas Golden Knights and the Kraken fans should be thankful, and the league should be thankful that both franchises have had the early success they have. Oh, I believe they're both very thankful.
Yeah.
It just ticks off the rest of the league. We're going to take a timeout. We do have an Oilers Golden Knights preview coming up, plus Panthers Leafs talk with Sarina Taylor. But Moose and I will rejoin you right after this brief pause, live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, and streaming.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
The scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ace Casino Airport, the place to be. By the way, U288 is this Saturday night. Free viewing party right here for UFC 288. That's Saturday, May 6th, and all UFC pay-per-view events every month at the Ace Casino Airport Sports Bar on the 40-foot TV wall. Hey, the cheap Oilers charge you $5. Not us. I know it's all going to charity in Edmonton. Calm down. But just saying, it's free here to watch UFC 288. There'll be a big crowd. Moose and I were there last night watching the Leafs and the Panthers, and I was the only Panthers fan in the attendance. Therefore, I was the only Panthers fan going home happy. Moose is here. Live studio audience. It's picking up, eh, Moose? How about this?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you came out here?
Of course I am.
I want to sprinkle in more viewer comments.
Yeah.
Rob Tyson is in Cold Lake, Alberta. He's watching on Game Plus television, and he says, this morning Toronto media was ripping on Mark Giordano, saying he's too old to keep up with the Panthers' speed. Can you, Rob, please specifically tell me who it was doing the ripping? Because there's a really big difference. And I know this rankles the media, and I don't care, but it has a lot to do with those that did play the game versus those who did not play the game. I want to know who said it. And if you don't remember, that's fine. That tells me that it wasn't that memorable or that important. But I don't want to hear some Johnny-come-late graduate from Humber College ripping NHL players for their play. Because I'm sorry, that's how I feel. I'm sorry. Sergei Bobrovsky was the reason the Florida Panthers won the game last night. End of story. Period. Bob is in God mode. Can't stop that.
Bob's your uncle.
And you said it. When Bob's on, it's scary. When Bob's off,
it's
scary. Right? Exactly. And he was on in game one. I mean, that's why I think the game was so fun, because there was chances. And it just happened that he made more saves and Florida won. Like, it's a lot harder to stomach as a team losing when you're like, there was no room out there. You know, we didn't have any chances. We didn't have any shots. I'm really scared because I don't know how we can win this series. But last night, I'm like, no, I know how we can win the series. We just got to put more shots past them.
Did it have anything to do with Giordano?
No.
No.
Nothing to do with Giordano. All to do with Bobrovsky. All to do with Bob. And a couple posts. And part of that is the Leafs went 0 for 4 on the power play, which you can't do if you're going to win the series. You need to capitalize on those opportunities. And yeah, the power plays were 4-1 in favor of Toronto in that game. But you got to score on your chances. Yes.
I don't know if we're ever going to get over this criticism in the media thing. And I don't want to talk about it every day, yet it comes up every day. And I think it's just amongst us and our crew.
Yeah.
But Perry S. Hockey is watching on television right now in Lethbridge, Alberta. Perry Shockey.
Yeah.
Hockey guy, and he says, I truly believe that when someone in sports can tell it like it is and has an opinion and perspective, it's awesome. When it walks like a duck, flies like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a freaking duck. And he says, I also think Daryl Sutter should tell everyone what he thinks of Huberdeau and have a French interpreter so he's not hiding behind a language barrier. Whoa, ho, ho!
How about that?
We're literally in a place where there's those fans on the TV. Look, quick. They wear jerseys of every other team. And they wear Arizona jerseys and Colorado jerseys and Seattle jerseys. It's the same guy every game in Toronto wears the jersey of the other team to get on TV.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is awesome.
Can we do that at Stamps games? Let's do it. Where was I? Oh. Perry S. Hockey and I need to have a coffee here at Ace Casino and just go over some stuff.
Yeah.
Because Huberdeau, when there's this finger pointing going on between the coaches and the players like there is now, and let's remember, Daryl's been fired, so I guess he can say whatever he wants and his people can say whatever he wants. It wasn't just the players. When I got people coming here, looking me up, influential Calgary media people saying, stop sticking up for Daryl because he doesn't deserve it. I've had 2 interactions with Daryl Sutter in my life. Neither one was pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not a Daryl Sutter fan or a backer. I'm a Sutter backer, but not a Daryl backer. And I said, you know what? Okay, fine. Why would I stand up for Daryl Sutter? Really?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, a lot of people in the organization had had enough of Daryl. And with your Huberdeau, I went to every game when I was here. I saw his turnovers in the neutral zone. Jonathan Huberdeau, a lot of nights, I had to check the score sheet to see if he played. But he says it's because of Daryl. And not just him, but some players had said they didn't want to come to the rink. They weren't having fun. We've all been, maybe you haven't, but we've been to those workplaces and with those teams. Sometimes you don't want to go home. You know, it's a problem. And that nobody would talk about. That's the one thing that I've learned here with this Flames organization.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're not in the playoffs. Why are we talking about them? Shocks brought it up. Nobody talked about anything. Communication, eh, Jack? Nobody knew there was problems.
Yeah.
And then this happens. So enough about that. To the Oilers, where they don't have problems apparently because they're winning and they're in round 2. That's a team. That is a team. And, you know, somebody said the Oilers, or is it you? Don't matter who the goalie is if they play well enough in front of them.
That's right.
Would you? I would agree with that.
I would agree with that,
The
too.
goalie for the Leafs last night, Samsonov, wasn't even a story.
No.
In the game.
No. He made some big saves, too, early in that game to keep the Leafs in it, especially when it was 1-0 and 2-0. Yeah, the Oilers, they went through their struggles, too, though. They went through their struggles. Peter Chiarelli and the early days, and then, you know, the tough days with Dave Tippett. You know, as unfortunate as that was, it took them a while to figure it out and get on the right page with all of these stars and get everybody working in the same direction. But once they figured it out, it's a team that's really hard to beat. And I know people have said that the betting favorite maybe is the Leafs for the Stanley Cup, but it maybe should be the Oilers because they have such high-end talent, and when they get goaltending, I don't know who can beat them.
Well, none of these teams are perfect, by the way. Newsflash.
Yeah.
None. And listen, you picked Colorado, Carolina to go to the Stanley Cup final, and that didn't happen. I picked Calgary, Florida. Then I picked Boston, Vegas. So who would know?
Yeah.
Right? I saw Craig Button on SportsCenter this morning saying, A, Mitch Marner wouldn't make a Pee-wee team the way he played last night. I don't know if you saw that or not. And 2, Craig goes, I was 4 for 8 in round 1. That's not going to stop me. I'm still going to keep picking. Alan May says, I don't remember what I was, but I was wrong on a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I say throw out your opinions. Nobody really remembers. Or your predictions. Sean in Vancouver is watching on Game Plus television, and he says, going to be great to see Sarina on air again today. And Moose needs to de-sour and sweeten. Seinfeld reference. Oh, she's got her opinions. She always has her opinions, by the way. It'll be interesting to see whether she wants to talk about this Oilers Vegas series or the Leafs and Panthers. You gonna think you're gonna keep us out of Florida? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, so Rod, are you saying you plan to be at a lot of Stamps games this summer and fall? I will be there June 24th for sure. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Because we're bringing a fan bus full of Rider fans June 24th, courtesy Woody's RV World in Engelheim. Jordan writes in, says, hey, did you listen to Huberdeau yesterday? How about the way Sutter treated Pelge? Sutter wasted a heck of a roster this year. Well, he's fired. You can quit talking about him.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
Let's move on. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, says injuries are the great equalizer in the playoffs. Everyone's banged up, but McDavid with one hand or one knee is still better than everyone else with 2 hands or 2 knees. That's true. Troy in Toronto says, go Oilers. I'm hoping for an all-Canadian Stanley Cup. Would that be too annoying for the rest of the country? You people in Toronto, I better be careful here, right, Jack? You need to tone down the Leaf hate. We don't hate you. Do you hate the Leafs? We don't hate the Leafs. We laugh at your ass. We don't hate you. We don't hate. Does it feel like I hate you?
No.
No. And it's not just you, Troy, in Toronto. I saw it again. Tim McCallum. You either love the Leafs or you hate the Leafs. No, we don't care about the Leafs, bro. You know?
You think so?
I don't.
Yeah.
He doesn't. And who else matters?
Yeah. Got the 2 of you.
Yeah. I'm saying, no, you guys all think that we hate the Leafs, and we don't. Get over yourselves.
We're trying.
You're not doing it very well.
Haven't been here in a while. Just getting used to the place.
David in Winnipeg writes in, Rod and Darren, did either of you catch any of the CFL draft? What's your opinions? Gets me fired up for football. Go Bombers! Sweep the Bombers! I think about it all the time. What I think is the Saskatchewan. Go to my commentary right now at rodpeterson.com. My take is I was excited the Riders drafted Jackson Ford, 11th overall, second round. His grandfather's Alan Ford still holds the Grey Cup record for the longest punt in Grey Cup history. It was more than just a good PR move. We talked about the CFL draft right off the start. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it now. Do you have a recap in 30 seconds?
Yeah, for Winnipeg, Anthony Bennett, great pick in the first round. I think it was 9th overall.
He's a stud, huh?
Stud. And when you look at Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat, you're going to bring a young Anthony Bennett into that defensive line. And he's not going to maybe have the impact right away, those 2 guys. But those 2 guys have been around the league a while. So when they start to, they're going to hand the baton off to a Canadian defensive end who's going to be a real disruptor. So they've found the replacement. And Winnipeg's going to be strong on the defensive line for years to come.
Ryan in New York says, I don't know why fans are so annoyed that Vegas and Seattle have playoff success so soon. This has always been the case for modern expansion teams going back to the Sharks in the 1990s. They are upset because the rules were changed in order for them to have success. And to be honest with you, both teams will admit it.
Yeah.
I've talked to Golden Knights people about it saying, hey, it's not our fault. The Nashville Predators didn't make the playoffs for their first 8 years. That's untenable.
Yeah.
They didn't want that anymore. So they did make the rules a little easier. And again, it's not something that the Golden Knights players and staff should apologize for. And I think that people don't give enough credit to the job done by Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, nor in Seattle, Ron Francis. And my hand's in the air right now. I didn't like that expansion team that they put together last year either. I still can't name you 5 Seattle Kraken. Can you? And yet they might go to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. Shoot, half of them are from Saskatchewan.
I know.
Jordan Eberle, Jaden Schwartz.
Geeky, Grubauer, Yanni Gore. There's tough guys.
Bjorkstrand. I hush, but they're not stars. They're not stars.
They're a group. It's a little like Vegas when they started, too. It wasn't a group of stars. It was a group of good players who worked together and, really did something special. I think that's what Seattle's doing right now. It's a group of players, Jaden Schwartz, Jordan Eberle, these are high-end guys, but they're not tier 1% stars. They're in the next tier, but very good players, and they're producing, and they're getting buy-in from everybody, top to bottom. Ball's doing a heck of a job coaching. They're getting goaltending. What did you say? Was it Bernie Parent? Best team wins? They're a team in Seattle.
And the viewers want to know quickly, will the Lloydminster Ice sweep the Blades tonight?
No,
okay.
They won't.
Sarina Taylor next with all of her opinions. Joining us from South Florida, hang on. We're live from Ace Airport Casino and Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, and streaming.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Selection, service, price, parts, and knowledge. That's the Woody's RV World difference. With 7 locations in Western Canada, there's always one nearby. Visit us today or at woodysrv.com. If adventure awaits, Woody's RV World is with you all the way.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Business owners and marketers, Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
We're live from Ace Casino Airport, home of the Pulse Arena, Alberta's only private electronic table game lounge featuring blackjack, craps, roulette, and baccarat with an atmosphere perfect for any day or night. Come on down and check it out. As a matter of fact, come on down, check it out for Game 1 of the Edmonton Oilers Vegas Golden Knights. We'll have it here in the Ace Sports Bar. Sarina Taylor joins us to talk about it. RPShow hockey analyst, the first female play-by-play broadcaster in major junior hockey history. Look it up. Sarina, welcome to the program. And I really know where to start with you, so I'll start with this. How are you feeling about the Oilers going into Game 1 tonight in Vegas?
I can't really think about it too much because I have to wake up so early tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to be able to watch it. Usually what I do is I go to sleep, wake up, and watch the end, which I might do, but I'm feeling mixed. I feel like Edmonton did so well at the end of the regular season against both the Kings and Vegas, and the Kings proved to be a battle for them. And so I think Vegas is going to come out really hot as well.
How about the goaltending battle? Stuart Skinner versus Laurent Brossoit. There was a question came in earlier. Who's got the goaltending edge in this series? Alan May said it's 50-50. It's a wash. How do you feel about the way the goalies have been handled by the Oilers, and then how they stack up against the Golden Knights?
Well, I think that the Oilers did what they had to do. There's probably not any parts of me left in my body in this lifetime that will ever trust an Oiler goaltender over the next however many years. And I feel the same way about Stuart Skinner, but he's obviously the choice that's going in. And I think that the way they handled it when they put Jack Campbell in, the big question was who's going to play. They went right back to Skinner. Perfect. It worked out well. How's it going to match up against Vegas? Well, that depends. These younger goaltenders can be so hit and miss. You just never know what they're going to do. They can be really hot or you just don't know. So I agree with Alan. It's going to be 50-50. I'm hoping it doesn't come down to goaltending, but sadly it usually does.
Well, that's what makes the playoffs so much fun and unpredictable. Now, you and I never talk about gambling odds at all, but I just want your take on the fact that Bet Regal has the Oilers favored to win tonight, and I believe favored to win the series. They did kind of manhandle Vegas near the end of the year. Is that a factor or a carryover, you think, into this series?
It's like I was saying, when Edmonton was playing against the Kings, they mopped the floor with all of the California teams and Vegas and everything at the end of the regular season. Playoffs are a completely different animal. I understand why the odds are the way they are because that's what they do, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll never bet against my Oilers, but it's just too hard to tell at this point.
So basically, because it's your team, hey, trust me, I get it. That's why you should be like me and not really have a real favorite team. But right now, it's the Florida Panthers, and let's just switch gears. If anybody has questions on the Oilers Golden Knights, you can fire them our way, and we'll ask Sarina about those. But Leafs down 1-0 to Florida following a 4-2 win last night. Your thoughts on how that series has unfolded and this surprising Panthers run?
I think that the only reason the Panthers won that game last night was Bobrovsky. I mean, you can tell Toronto is a much stronger team on all sides of the puck. You don't have to worry about Toronto, any of their lines. They have two really powerful power plays. You know, they have two lines that can dominate on the power play, and Florida just does not have that. Having said that, like I said to you the other day, they took Boston to 7 games, and I mean, you look at that two ways, right? They knocked off the President's Cup winners. They knocked off the team that with the highest record in all time in NHL history. But also on the flip side, Boston played like garbage the whole series, and they still went to Game 7 in overtime. So I think that the Panthers really need to realize that they didn't play Boston at 100%. They're going to probably play Toronto at 100%, but Bobrovsky was standing on his head last night. In my opinion, that's the only reason Florida even had a chance last night.
Fun stuff off the ice. What is your take on the Panthers blocking Canadian residents from buying tickets for games 3 and 4 and 6, I guess?
Well, it's funny because it's not really the talk around here. It's only talk amongst Canadians because Floridians probably don't even know. It's a completely different vibe here. And do I think it should be allowed? I mean, why not? But to me, if that was my team, I would be absolutely embarrassed that my fan base was so weak that we had to block off selling tickets because they don't want a bunch of Leafs fans in there. I just, in the second round of the playoffs, if you're concerned about your fans not showing up, you're the problem, not the Leafs fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. But there's a lot of people, if that was my team and I was in that situation, I would not do that. But I also get it. I mean, they don't want a rink full of Leafs fans. I mean, you and I have talked about this. They don't seem to mind Sarina in the regular season. That's what I don't understand. They'll sell to the Bruins fans, the Leafs fans, the Oilers fans, but in the playoffs, it's different. Why is it different now?
That's what I'd like to know, because they know they're getting out-fanned. And they don't like it. And they don't care during the regular season because for years, they had a hard time putting bums in the seats. So they didn't care if they were selling to the Flyers fans or the Penguins fans. Like any of those teams that come down here, it's the same thing. But when Toronto and Montreal are here, it's definitely next level. The rink is full of Habs and Leafs fans. And like I said, they know they're getting out-fanned. And I would be so embarrassed if that was my team. But again, we're talking two polar opposite teams and fan bases here.
Something the Oilers would never have to worry about. From the audience, Tom says, people just expect Phil Kessel to skate circles around the Oilers tonight. Was he not scratched for a game in round 1? I thought he was. BW says, just outscore Vegas. Shoot from the cheap seats. Reminds me of the 80s Oilers. Do you think they could play that way with this high-octane offense and win this series that way? Or are we getting to defense wins territory?
That's a great question. I think it depends how much Edmonton stays out of the penalty box. They have different types of lines. So at even strength, you've got guys like McDavid and Draisaitl and that power and Evander Kane. And then you go to their third line where you have guys like Fogle and Ryan, and those guys bust hard for the net. Look at Yamamoto in the last couple games in the last series. Wasn't really putting the puck in the net, but the last game, he's probably the smallest guy on the ice, and he was fearless out there. It's two different styles because when those lines go out there, Vegas is obviously going to play them differently. The Kings played McDavid differently than they played the other lines, obviously, right, with line matchups. That's just the way it's going to be. I think Drew Doughty was a huge bonus for the Kings, that he quarterbacked that entire team the whole series. And without Drew Doughty, they would have been, he's been there before, he gets it. He's a great hockey player and he's stable. Does Vegas have that? Yeah, it's a different team. So it's going to depend on, again, if the Oilers are going to play at even strength, because the first 3 games of that Kings series was terrible. So we'll see what they do.
I'll leave you with this. Jeff in Edmonton texts in. He says, I thought the Kings gave Edmonton a hard time at the end of the season. They got the wins, but they were hard fought. He says, the Oilers. I don't get that feeling from Vegas. This will be a much easier series. Ooh.
Yeah,
what do you think of that?
You can't start thinking about stuff like that because the playoffs are the start of a new season. Anybody who thinks like that is, I guarantee the Oilers aren't thinking like that. And the fact that they had hard-fought games against the Kings, I mean, yeah, but they went in and dominated everybody. You know, and it's like a win is a win. It doesn't matter what the score was. You come out as a win on the end. And the Kings are just scrappy too. They're like Florida. They just don't quit. But I don't remember the last time Vegas was in the playoffs and they rolled over. Like Winnipeg rolled over. Vegas is not that type of team.
Couldn't agree more. Sarina, awesome job as always. Appreciate it. See you soon.
Thank you.
Our hockey analyst and clearly Oiler fan in attendance, Sarina Taylor. We'll be back with overtime right after this. We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQE Radio, and streaming.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay, we are live from Hotel Clique Calgary Airport, and just ahead of Overtime. Well, this is overtime, but sports update here before we bring the Moose in. The Vegas Golden Knights and Connor McDavid, host Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1 of the Round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. A key to this series is Edmonton's vaunted power play, firing at an astounding 56% of the playoffs, compared to a middling Knights penalty kill that's operating at just 58%. Also tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes host the New Jersey Devils in Game 1 of their Eastern Series. The Toronto Maple Leafs try to regroup following last night's 4-2 loss to the Florida Panthers in Game 1. The physical Panthers were led by forward Matthew Tkachuk, who had 3 assists, and 2-time Vezina Trophy-winning goalie Sergei Bobrovsky, Bob's your uncle, who made 34 saves. Game 2 goes Thursday. Sports update is for Landmark Cinemas. In theaters now, Renfield. And this modern monster tale of Dracula's loyal servant, Nicholas Hoult, stars as Renfield, the tortured aide to history's most narcissistic boss, Dracula, played by Oscar winner Nicolas Cage. In theaters now, Landmark Cinemas. All right, the Moose is here. Do you guys have the camera ready to roll? You can see it, Moose?
Oh, yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. What a day. What a day down here. You're meeting everybody. You're meeting all the big shots. Big shots.
Let's go.
How's that going?
It's great. This is what it's all about.
Tell
right?
the world what's going on. You met Russ from Woody's RV World.
Hanging out with Jack and Kevin and Naeem.
These guys.
It's been awesome.
We should mention it. Woody's RV World presenting the summer football road trip presented by the RPShow and Engelheim. Tickets are available now at rodpeterson.com, and the trip includes charter transportation from Engelheim, June 23rd to the 25th, Regina to Calgary, and back. They're going to take you back, too.
Yeah, they'll take you home.
2-night accommodations.
Win or lose.
Win or lose, if you want to. Hotel accommodations for 2 nights at Hotel Clique Calgary Airport. Plus free breakfast. Pet peeve when people say breakfasts.
Breakfasts?
Yeah, have you ever heard people? It's breakfasts, not 2 breakfasts.
Breakfasts.
Exclusive pre- and post-game parties right here at Ace Sports Bar, where you will find us most nights watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. The place was full last night, and I was the only Panthers fan in attendance. I was feared for my safety, but we won, so they were too busy crying to beat anybody up. Anyways, back to the trip. Saskatchewan Roughriders at Calgary Stampeders on June 24th. Get your tickets now, rodpeterson.com. We'll be proud to host you, and I'll be here waiting for you.
And there's not many tickets available. The bus will fill up fast.
There's your sales cap.
So let's go.
Okay, let's get it going. Go to rodpeterson.com right now. The link is right there to purchase your tickets. Thank you, Woody's RV World and Engelheim. Longtime friends of mine. So tonight, I don't know why I was so rushed this morning. I didn't fill out my schedule. I normally do. So the floor is yours. Dub, tonight, is your heart and mind in Saskatoon tonight, or what are you thinking?
No.
You gonna follow that game?
I was following last night. It was a tough one. Winnipeg is very good, and Saskatoon's been through a lot. I mean, they had to come back against Regina, and the Bedard thing was tough in Game 7. They were down 3-0 against Red Deer, had to battle back and came back from being down 3-0 in the series. The reverse sweep, won 4 in a row. Like, that's a big deal. Now they got to do it again. I mean, how many times do you got to go back to square one and climb the mountain? But proud of what that group's done. That team means a lot to me, and I'll be pulling for them. I don't think they'll go away quietly in 4 games, so I think they'll win the next one and extend it at least one more game.
It's been fun to watch. A lot of people, more than normal, are talking about the junior playoffs. And as a matter of fact, at the time we have left, if you're watching anywhere across Canada, you can fire us a note, 902-518-3033, about your teams. I'm seeing my guy, Braden Klemosko, is up. He's a finalist for the Coach of the Year in the Canadian Junior Hockey League. The Darcy Hogan Mark Cross Award. So way to go, Braden.
Yeah.
I love my Battlefords North Stars. And I guess, as I say, the hockey lords work in mysterious ways. There's a reason that we're not at the Centennial Cup nor the Memmer, because we're going to be in South Florida with the RP show for round 2, Leafs and Panthers. I don't know. I got. Not only are Leafs fans annoying, I think you're deaf. One guy wrote me here and said, "Can you get me 1 ticket?" No means no. You think you're going to keep us out of Florida? I'm going to start calling the guy Frank.
Yeah.
From now on, Nick,
Come on.
Your name's Frank.
Don't you like Frank Costanza?
I like him. I don't like Leaf fans.
He is a Leaf fan.
I know you said no, but da-da-dee-dee-dee.
He's not taking no for an answer. You got to admire that.
He's a salesman.
He's not quitting. It's great. And on another note, I know we're late in the show, but we don't talk NBA in the show. But Jamie over at the hotel, big
general manager over there, hotel.
Yeah, him and his daughter. One's a Lakers fan, one's a Golden State fan, and the Lakers drew first blood in the series last night against Golden State. So it's going to be fun. As I'm following that series too. Following that.
Last minute of play on the RP show.
Yeah, following that series, so I think it'll be good. Steph Curry's got LeBron's number in the playoffs. Golden State's got the Lakers' number. So
look at you, Johnny.
How about that?
Dun, 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 dun. Start spreading the news. I'm just looking at my score app right now. There is only one NBA game tonight.
Yeah, today and tomorrow.
76ers at the Celtics. Philly up 1-0. Blue Jays at Boston tonight, 5:10 Mountain, 7:10 Eastern. And, of course, the game that I'm the most excited about is the Oilers Golden Knights. I think if we get early flick at Country Hills Landmark
We could do
Center,
the early 5.
we could get back to watch the Oils.
Yeah.
The Oils. That's a new one. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.
Breakfasts.
Noon Eastern.
Who has more fun than us?